Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Man at YouTube with another GK video. Today we have a 20-year-old mystery box Thai Recast Belldandy from the anime manga Aa-Megami. This is from a large lot of kits I purchased for my business. Had multiples of this piece which was unidentified. Going through the Myfigurecollection catalogue, confirmed as a 1/6 Volks made Aa-Megami-Sama sculpt, a very famous build. Unable to find the original instructions, Tom's model page, also found on Google, had more high definition and different view photos that I could reverse engineer from. All sources, links in description section. During the identification and research phase, it didn't hurt to start soaking and cleaning the mold release agent film off these pieces. Even being decades old, liquid resin in 2 parts is poured into a silicone mold to create and firm the parts. This sticks to everything and requires a release agent like soap, oil or silicone. Not knowing what was used, it's always customary to soak the parts in water, wash in detergent and scrub every nook and cranny with a sponge. I would wash, rinse off in clean water, dry and repeat twice. Failing to do so may result in fish eyes or the paint not sticking to the surface. Also, without the need of reference or instruction material, I was able to identify sprue marks and any imperfections like a flash, which would appear on an original or recast. Obvious parts were also pinned. Thai Recast resin is renowned for being on eBay and around Southeast Asia from the 90s throughout the 2010s and is famous with this yellow tan resin colour and being a lot tougher and denser than the softer Japanese or upmarket resins that are also coming out of China at the moment. They do range in quality and can suffer less detail due to poor moulding, thicker flash marks around the seam points and air bubbles around the place. This seems to have been pressure cast and is not too bad quality compared to others I've handled in my experiences. And I'm extremely grateful as Volks is very well known for producing beautiful and very detail fitted kits that are very rich in being able to paint and showing a form of fluidity or action in its posing. Very high quality toys and models. Volks, even though known more for its dolls these days, was historically and exclusively produced GK kits in the past. At this stage, I have sourced and figured out what the kit looks like and the pose it's in, as it's bent over and looks like it's doing a swan dive or falling. It's a very unusual pose and tricky to put together without any prior knowledge of its finished assembly. The advantage of the flowing dress, it has a very heavy bottom and is also its own base. All the parts were pinned with a pin vise and steel wire and put together as a test fit to see how it comes together. Smaller parts like the hair was super glue, larger parts are adhered with contact cement. This was a challenging and intermediate experience, but not overly too hard or difficult. The base gripped by hand and covered in 2 parts. The rest of the components were added to alligator clips and stuck into corrugated cardboard. All components were sprayed with automotive filler grey primer. First pass, no issues. Being a bit older and require masking, we went straight into flesh tones. A collection is advantageous with a airbrush 0.3mm. Lacquers slap on smoothly and adhere nicely. I wanted a pale tone, so I didn't go too fancy with the undercoat, and based in general Gaia notes and did shading with character flesh 1 and 2 for variation in shadowing. Very easy stuff. Allowed a week or so to dry and adhere so I can tape up the shoulders and midriff. The rest of the project is where the true challenge comes in. I can completely see these flowing clothing pieces and masking being very intimidating to a beginner, and this would have probably scared me into purchasing or starting this 5 years ago when I only had a few kits under my belt, but up for the challenge and love shading with my airbrush. The face and the hair was something I had the most concern with, as I'm not the best with eyes. Decided to hand paint the brown and do some light masking and shade with an additional 2 tones, which made it look almost identical with original sources. The panels are extremely deep, so a sludge wash popped beautifully. Using my best synthetic brush and watering down my lacquers as much as possible, practicing painting fine line after fine line, really knocked out the eyes, eyebrows, the glints and the face markings of Belldandy. Probably my best effort in hand painting a face to date. At this stage, I was very confident, and the whole project started coming together with a mix of hand painting and airbrushing. With this newfound exciting confidence, I pulled out a bunch of very light greys and blues, base coated all the flowing clothing, and did 3 to 4 tones in all the folds and panels in building up light and the contours of the body, leaving it shadowed and darkened on the inside of the garments. In a playful manner, I picked up all the relief detail and beading with silver and gave it a filter wash with a light blue that came out brilliantly. Small details like fingernails, bracelets and other bits and pieces were touched up before assembling with a series of PVA or super glue for the final assembly. Some of the fittings were tight, but this was all worked out prior in the test fit phase. Then finished the whole lot off with a few coats of matte clear to dull the glossy paints, mixes and washes. I really started getting into anime in the early 2000s, though Belldandy was the otaku sweetheart from the 90s and a bit beyond. She is before my time and never really consumed any media involving her, though I do remember the amount of merchandise, wall scrolls and the tonnage of garage kits and aftermarket products around her, as traditional figures were not as available. This is a remnant from a past era, but anyone who builds garage kits would have seen these floating around, and who's been around for a while is aware of the amount that is available. With an interest in vintage models and a willingness to go further in garage modelling and my figure game, I feel it's almost a rite of passage to make this, and even still see Belldandy in model competitions and displays online galleries from time to time. Falling in my lap for nothing, this is the one I chose to do and feel that I've really come in my own way in producing this and finishing off. Very happy how it came together, and definitely sent some growth and improvement in my style and hobby. The model is wonderful, highly recommended, though anything from Volks is definitely going to be quality and top tier. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Check the description section below for references and links. We'll catch you guys next time. See ya.